Why did Sid summon me? I had a pretty good idea. He could tell I'd lost heart. Everyone here would have me take up arms. Everyone. But why go through the trouble of becoming a warrior of light just to fulfill the ambitions of others? In truth, I was ready to lay down my sword when Sid sent for me. That's the law here. In Palamecia, you fight, or you're forgotten. And that's just the way it is. Sid did claim this twisted world would reveal its true nature through his tale. Should I relive his memories? Will I be willing to once again walk the path of the warrior of light?
I've watched you trace back to my master's origins, back to the first story. I see a light inside you. It grows stronger.
Really? I don't feel any different.
I may be a Moogle no longer, but can see it. I see it shining from within.
If you say so.
Let us continue on. My master is waiting for us. Fairy with you doesn't say much, does she? She's such an adorable little thing. I've often thought that it would be nice to hear her speak. Even just a bit.
Hey, Echo. Sounds like you've got a fan. She's not big on flattery.
That's a shame, as my words were spoken in earnest. If you ask me, I believe that your fairy is being especially timid so as not to cause you any trouble, perhaps.
If only she was this quiet all the time.
Oh, I do hope those words were not spoken in earnest. I will go and check ahead. Wait here for a moment, if you would.
He's gone, Echo.
What do you think he's checking on?
I don't think he's checking on anything. He's just giving us a chance to talk.
Maybe that's what he wants us to think, while the whole time he's out there spying on us.
You don't trust him, do you? I mean, it's usually all I can do to get you to be quiet, so not hearing a peep makes me nervous.
Were you expecting we'd all sit down to tea? You really need to take this more seriously. You're disappointed, aren't you? You can't believe Sid's origin story's just a minor scuffle in some backwater town.
I just can't picture the warrior of light arising from something so mundane. It's unordinarily ordinary. I'm keeping my guard up.
Good. See for yourself how the tale unfolds. Later!
I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Let us continue.
Yeah.
Perhaps your throat is parched. I would be more than happy to make some tea.
No thanks. How long have you been in Sid's service?
To tell you the truth, I really have no idea. We residents of Palamecia are not given to reflecting on the past. I know not when I came to serve at his side or where we met. I don't even know how I broke my pom-pom. I remember nothing at all.
Are you sure that you're not just saying that because there are things that you'd rather forget?
Such guile is beyond me. I live entirely in the moment, this moment. I treasure the present over fading memories of days long past.
Now then, where were we in the telling?
Some tedious goings-on in your hometown, as I recall.
You don't mince words. As you say, It was petty rivalry that first set things into motion. But it was a certain event that sent this backcountry youth down the path toward my future. The path toward becoming a warrior of light.
From everything I've heard so far, it's hard to imagine how.
Delve into my past and you'll see. I was born and raised in a small town by the name of Palamecia. The ruler of that town, Lord Chaos, proposed marriage to a girl named Sarah and was refused. In revenge, he cut off the water that fed the fields of the local towns and villages.
The petty act of a small man. So Sarah, she turned to you then. You were the town's best swordsman, no?
And yet, I was powerless to help. All I could do was listen to Sarah's plight and share her fears. In the end, she saw no way out but to accept his proposal and marry Chaos. And if the tale ended there, I'd have lived out my days as a simple farmer, never having reason to leave the place of my birth. Though Sarah consented to the marriage in the end, the rumors began to spread. People said her true love was not Chaos, but the town's best blade, and that Lord Chaos had forced her into the union, an unwilling bride.
Rumors, you say, but it was true.
It was the fool, Voice, who whispered madness into the ear of the humiliated Lord Chaos. At Voice's suggestion, Chaos held a competition of arms. If Sarah loved the best blade in town, then Chaos would prove he was that blade and none other.
The definition of a charade. They say the smallest bell rings loudest, and he calls himself Chaos.
He started out insignificant enough, in much the same way that I, the first warrior of light, was nothing but a farm boy. I had little appetite for travel, let alone adventure. If it were up to me, I would have never entered that competition. But my younger brother, Mid, he signed me up without my knowledge. My hand was forced. Looking back, I realize I was caught up in a tide, carried along by the fickle currents of fate.
So that was it? You were just swept down the path to becoming a warrior of light? What about strength of will? What about determination?
These things are important, yes, but there is more to the tale. A word of caution before you delve too deeply into my past.
Now you're trying to scare me?
It's for your own good. My memories will be an assault upon your senses. You must endure the same raw pain I endured, feel the losses I felt. They will echo through your bones.
That does sound pretty scary.
We'll move on when you're ready, and no sooner. Now let's begin.
So this is the clash with Chaos at the competition, huh? Things are coming to a head now.
I know. A mere backwater brawl. That is what you're thinking, is it not?
I still can't picture you rising from this to become the warrior of light.
A backwater this may have been, but I was up against the best of the best in the competition. I did not think I stood a chance.
Oh, weren't you the best sword in town?
Perhaps yes, but stronger rivals had come from afar, seeking wealth and glory. Chaos and the purse he offered tempted the best blades from across the land.
Of course. He wanted you to lose.
It wasn't quite as simple as that. This was all part of a carefully laid plan. But perhaps you should see for yourself. Feel the heat upon your skin as you enter the arena. With your hands wield your steel, and with your eyes try to penetrate Chaos's rules.
So this is what you meant by experiencing your past firsthand.
Well done, warrior. You have fought your way through the preliminaries with ease.
Couldn't we have skipped this part and jumped ahead to the meat of the tale?
You faced no real challenge, though.
There, I agree with you. I faced far worse than those opponents.
They were chosen to match your abilities.
So, it was a setup for you as it was for me.
Strangely, I did not face a single foe of consequence in the initial bouts. But when the real fighting began, my opponents came from a different stock altogether. They were the best of the best.
I guess I'll have something to look forward to after all.
You should prevail against these opponents easily. You are far more capable than even I was back in the prime of my youth.
I've had plenty of practice. They love their fights in Palamecia. Actually, if this world is based on your life, you could even say you trained me.
You trained not at my hand, nor at Palamecia's, for that matter. Your own journey has made you what you are, strong.
I only fought to survive.
Such is life. Whether man, beast, or insect, each morning brings a new struggle to elude death for one more day.
Man, you breezed through that first battle.
My opponent didn't even seem willing to fight. I landed blows, of course, but nothing more than a scratch. No. It's clear they threw the match. Something's not right here.
Correct. Chaos fixed the fight. The question now is, can you see through the subterfuge to the scheme that lies below?
You dominated again!
They're still going easy on me.
I agree. Quite an elaborate performance. They showed their strength, yet made me seem stronger still. At least, that is what the audience was meant to think when I prevailed. To their eyes, I won a sweeping victory. But seen from where I stood, I had fought my hardest, only to end up playing right into their hand.
You're through the third round.
I've barely even crossed swords.
The crowd looks a little unsettled.
Mid, find out what's going on.
You bet. I'm on it.
I charged recklessly in, time and time again, yet their blows always seemed to glance aside. The crowd began to suspect foul play.
Of course they were suspicious. Your opponents were holding back. But why?
You'll see soon enough. Now, on to the next room.
So how did the competition end? Did everyone you faced just throw their fights and let you win?
Would that the day had ended so. Given the choice, I prefer a farce to tragedy.
So then playtime was over.
I'm afraid that, from this point, These memories of mine will be painful to bear witness to. I hope you are prepared. Forgive me, but I must ask you to continue alone from here.
But these are your memories.
All the more reason why I do not wish to relive them.
Doesn't having others peer into your past bother you?
Indeed, it is not a pleasant thing. Given the choice, I would bar the gates of my mind and toss you out into the void. But no, I must ask you to pass through those gates on your own, and wish you all fortune.
You're really going? It's not too late to turn back, you know.
Why is it that when you tell me to turn back, it always means I have to forge ahead? I've slogged this far through the old man's memories. I'm not giving up just as it finally starts to get interesting.
But pressing on means you'll have to face the most difficult moments in Sid's life. His tragedy will no longer be his alone. It will be yours.
What do you mean by that? You think I'll get all sympathetic for what the old man's gone through? I'm not that sentimental.
So you say, so you say.
Such a shame. May he find peace and eternal rest.
Why did this happen? Why'd Mid have to die?
He was too smart for his own good. Your brother got too close to the truth. Are you mad? You'll get me killed too.
Kill you myself.
This competition was nothing but a pretense. Lord Chaos will cut you down while the crowd looks on in gleeful astonishment. You see, each opponent you faced thus far was deep in Lord Chaos's pocket.
I don't understand. Why plan all this just to kill me? Don't tell me cutting off the water supply was part of this too. He could have had one of his lackeys kill me off at any point.
He wishes to end this fair and square, in front of a particular audience, you see.
I don't get it. It makes no sense.
Let me rephrase that then. It's not the crowd he wishes to impress with your tech, but an audience of one. You will die in front of Sarah.
Sarah?
Sarah is quite smitten with you. To Lord Chaos, that makes you a very unwanted rival in love.
Sarah has feelings for me? But even if that's true, tell me one thing, please. Why did Mid have to die?
Your brother realized what was happening. He could see that all your opponents were holding back. You couldn't lose. They were letting you win.
So that Chaos could face me in the final battle so he could end me himself. Why kill Mid when things were going their way? It makes no sense.
So that the ruse would not be discovered. You would claw your way up to the final battle through sheer skill, but Lord Chaos would prove stronger still. That is what the story had to be. If word of the throne matches got out, Lord Chaos's honor would be disparaged.
His honor?
I would imagine that Lord Chaos ordered that Mid be silenced.
Over something so petty? Has he no regard for a man's life? Has he no respect for anything at all? Who does he think he is? You tell him. You tell Chaos. He'll get his audience, but they'll be seeing him at the end of my sword.
I'm sorry you had to witness such an unpleasant event.
I can see why you didn't want to revisit these memories. They were bad enough the first time. I realize that I may never know the true pain you felt, the pain you feel.
You are wise to hold your heart at a safe distance from these matters.
Show me the rest of your tale. I want to see how things ended. I want to see how you fought.
Prevail over chaos, and you will get the ending for which you seek.
The great Lord Chaos. Is he really all that strong? He was confident that he would win the final battle.
Confident? Ha! It was a certainty. But let us continue on. Then came the final match. My rage toward chaos had grown venomous and dark.
So that's when you became the Warrior of Light, when you defeated Chaos in the final battle.
No, it was not. At the time, my hatred for him hung too heavily upon my heart. A warrior of light must bring hope, but I brought nothing but despair and a terrible thirst for vengeance. Please forgive me. I must ask you go alone once more.
Yeah, planning on it.
Be wary of those under Chaos's sway. Beware his shadows.
Where's he gone now? He didn't skip town, did he?
He knows his number's up next.
Shouldn't have done his brother in, though. No ransom in that.
Ah, stuff it! Those were Lord Chaos's orders.
Our orders were to silence him, that's all. He'll get carried away and slaughter the older one, too.
Lord Chaos will take care of that himself. We'll just soften him up a bit.
Good heavens. Can you even hear what a racket you're making?
Ah, hurry up! Don't let him get away!
Don't get ahead of yourselves. He's watching for us. We'll get beat taking him on one at a time.
Feels like we're the ones getting chased. No one told me he was that tough.
What happened to the amateur who needed his fights fixed?
Voices down, gentlemen, please. You know all too well what will happen if you let slip that the matches were anything but a fair fight.
If we can't take him one-on-one, we'll swarm him. Quick, go get a few more bodies.
Yeah, strength in numbers.
Oh dear, you're bringing more brutes. More people to share all the sordid details. I wonder how many Lord Chaos will need to silence when all this is through.
Let's go!
It's time for the final bout. Preparations. Hey, you're in pretty bad shape.
I'm ready. I'm ready to fight.
Hey!
The wounds that Lord Chaos suffered in the last bout were more grievous than first thought. He will bow out of the final. And so, that makes you the victor.
We have a winner!
What wounds? He suffered nothing! Tell him I'm coming for him!
Hey!
Are you now? Are you sure that's wise?
Sarah's wishes. What's that supposed to mean?
Poor, sweet Sarah went crying to Lord Chaos. She said she'd do whatever he wanted, so long as he pulled out of the final bout. It seemed she could not bear to see you killed. And those worthless idiots left you looking like something the cat dragged in. Hardly the right note to strike for our grand finale. Lord Chaos only stands to lose face, tormenting such a pitiful opponent. Wouldn't you agree? And you have the lovely Sarah and those simpering lackeys to thank for letting you escape with your life. If you have a message for her, anything at all, I'd be more than happy to pass it along in your stead.
No need. It's nothing to do with me.
So cold.
My brother lost his life in a senseless charade. A high farce that unraveled in the end for reasons even more senseless still. I lost my brother, my only kin. And for nothing. For a time, it was all I could do to question why I had suffered such cruel injustice. I was no warrior then. I was barely the shell of a man.
I think I know how you felt.
But life sometimes takes strange turns, as you will see. Now, let us forge onward. My heart was a barren desert. Sarah, after all that, had agreed to marry Chaos. I understand why she did this. It was to save me. But the untimely death of my brother remained unresolved. Ironically, I heard that turn of events caused Chaos no small amount of grief as well.
Chaos? What cause could he have for grief? He instigated all this. Don't tell me he had regrets.
His reputation was in tatters. He had announced the competition with great fanfare, in the hopes of achieving a glorious victory over me. But it was all of it left unfinished. Soon enough, the rumors began to spread. On everyone's lips was word that Sarah's love was not Lord Chaos at all. Her true love was for another, the town's top swordsman. Chaos had conceived of his competition in jealousy, they said. And when he attempted to slay the swordsman through underhanded means, his scheme fell into pieces.
Which is true.
Yes, it seems that someone who knew what had happened let slip the truth. People were laughing behind Chaos's back, which actually served to safeguard me after a fashion.
Right, of course. If anything happened to you, everyone would think Chaos was behind it. He tied his own hands.
The townspeople, Chaos's own subjects, ridiculed him for his failure, and in time, he came to hate them for it. All of them.
But my throat is parched. It appears Lord Chaos has no intention of restoring your water supply. The crops wither in the field, and the livestock suffer.
What does taking our water away achieve? If this continues, every living thing in the village will wither and die.
Revenge for what happened at the competition, no doubt. It did not exactly cast him in the best of lights. So now, he's making the entire village pay for it.
The fool. He's mad.
He's not as stupid as he is vindictive, mind you. And lately, he's been faced with a particular problem. He is enthralled to a fiend, a vicious, unrelenting fiend.
A fiend?
Yes. Its name is love.
Enough games.
No doubt it causes Lady Sarah great distress. No matter how genuine her actions may be, Lord Chaos's suspicions only deepen. Perhaps you would be willing to help remedy this. You do owe her your life, after all.
What can I do? Surely if I show up, it will only make Chaos angrier.
Your will to assist in this endeavor will suffice. The rest can be left to you. I wouldn't waste what little time remains in indecision. Lady Sarah is torn between her loyalty to the suffering villagers and her loyalty to Lord Chaos himself. I wonder how much more she can do.
Hey, get over here!
She's going to jump!
We gotta stop her!
I'm sure you can guess who to speak of.
I'm afraid I can't.
Sarah! Please, don't do this!
That's right! Don't! This isn't your fault!
There's no other way. What are you doing here? No! Stay back! I've thought this through. I have no other choice.
My sweet Sarah, I respect your determination. But before you do something irreversible, please tell us what brought you to this precipice, as it were. Indeed, I know a little of your dilemma, but I'm afraid you've left this young man here entirely in the dark. Or shall I shed some light on matters? You pledged your hand in marriage to Lord Chaos. With all the sincerity you could muster, you pledged it. Oh, but he wanted your heart, as well as your hand. Sadly, I fear that mere words were not enough.
Words are all that I had to express the truth in my heart. And yet, Lord Chaos would not believe me. Why?
Why? The reason is obvious. You promise your love to Lord Chaos, but this emotion, love, is foreign to him.
Then tell me, what am I to do? What other choice do I have but this?
There is one bold but brilliant way to resolve this conundrum. Tell me, if you were to name the villain in this tale, who would that be? Why not just kill him?
But
Please help us!
without water, we'll all die!
We'll follow Chaos no longer!
You're our only hope!
If you make a stand, you can count on all of us to have your back.
Chaos has stolen these people's water, and Sarah, who offered to marry him, now feels death to be her only option. We face despair at every turn. But among us here, there is one whose light can banish this shadow, and his name?
I see now.
Their hopes now lie with you.
You've seen it before, I'm sure, when the hope that dwells within people's hearts turns to a warm and shining light.
The light of hope. You saw the hope in their eyes turn toward you, and it gave you the push you needed.
It was the first time that light revealed itself to me. I could not resist it. So warm it was, so gentle. It shone in through the holes rent in my heart by the loss of my brother and set my soul ablaze. Water is life, and that which takes life away is a mortal threat. Chaos became that threat. This common enemy brought the people together in a way they had not been before. They wanted someone to rise against chaos, to end their despair. For better or for worse, they pinned their hopes on me. I was all they had. They had faith in me, far more perhaps than I deserved. I could see it in their eyes. Their need was undeniable.
They needed hope. Hope you gave to them. Just as the prophecy foretold, the warrior of light would bring hope to the world.
Yes, a quarrel over water in a remote village. That was the origin of the prophecy. Now has come the time to witness the end of the first among tales. Chaos hoarded the water jealously, causing the people of the villages untold hardship.
Why? They did nothing to earn his ire, nothing except ridicule his cowardice.
The more groundless the emotion, the stronger it grows. It is often so. Chaos's heart seethed with malice, a malice which in time spawned a great, fiendish evil upon the land.
You mean Chaos was responsible for the fiends?
Even our hearts are home to a boundless chaos. Each one of us harbors evil of a kind. Water was the symbol of Chaos's authority, and the water reflected his malice and amplified it, until water and Chaos were as one.
May fortune be with you.
So did I face and defeat Chaos, and thereby restore the life-giving blessing of water to the people.
And so, your tale ended.
No, this was merely the beginning of my struggle. In the years that came, wicked creatures poured forth, wreaking havoc amongst the people. Perhaps it was vengeance, a curse sent by a vanquished lord. The people suffered great deprivations. In time, they gave a name to all such evil upon the land. They called it chaos. Wild beasts raiding the villages, foul abominations lurking neath graves, teeming hordes of demonic creatures, and sorcerers most wicked, dragons raining destruction down upon the capital. Chaos, they called them all. Chaos was to blame. I fought and defeated chaos again and again, in all manner of form.
Each time lifting the people from despair and giving them a the gift of hope.
Indeed, through my struggles, I became a knight, and then a hero. And eventually, well, you know how the story goes from there.
You became a warrior, the bearer of hope's light to all. You became the warrior of light. And what about Sarah?
She taught me the joys of peace. She still does, even today. This is my gift to you. It is all I have to give now. I thank you, listening to this old man's story of days long gone by. We must now part ways. Return to the path that beckons to you. Write your own tale to stand the test of time.
Say this story is a gift, but what exactly have you given me?
Think of it as a guide for you to follow. A map for the one who would be my successor. You seem conflicted about the path that lies ahead of you. I was much the same in my day. I began not a warrior at all. I too had little desire to fight, as you yourself have seen. When I look back, it is as if I can see myself then, caught up in the madness of this world. But my struggles had their reward, a life of value, a life of purpose. This world needs hope. It needs it desperately. And it needs a hero to deliver that hope to the people when the light fails. But heroes? They are not born every day. We had to find a successor, even if it meant forging one from the rawest of materials. We took the story of a man who brought that light of hope to the land, my story, and with it,
you made that slipshod tale I had to live through.
Slipshod? You are jaded and weary from the fight. You rejected the fiction we gave you, as well you should have. So I gave you the truth. I hoped it would move you to take up your sword again.
All to get me to fight. I understand why you need someone to follow in your footsteps, but I'm not you.
But you have it in you to become a champion of the people. You desire it, I know. Even now, your valor shines far more brightly than it did when you first set foot in this land of Palamecia. Forget that torturous tale. It's hardly worth the telling. Just do this old man one favor. Pick up your sword, stand and fight. Is that too much to ask?
What do you hope will come of this?
I hope for hope itself. Hope for this world.
It's hard to fault that.
Ah, at last you see the light.
You know I won't be free until this is finished.
Indeed.
I am most grateful to learn that you have agreed to accept my master's request.
I haven't said I'll do it yet.
It is enough that you are willing to press forward. Let me see you off on your journey.
Hey, you never told me your name.
I have renounced my ancestry. I am no Mughal. I am no one.
Hey Echo, you there? I need to ask you something.
Perhaps she won't show her face with me around.
Relax. I'm done talking with Sid. There's no need to worry anymore. Come on out. Come on. I need some fairy guidance. What do I do now?
Don't ask me that! You shouldn't listen to me!
Why not?
Because I can guide you on your path, but I can't give you the answers for which you seek.
Echo.
The fairies are a part of this world. They cannot defy its laws, even if they wanted to.
So what then? Is no one truly free in this place?
That is the way of Palamecia.
Just so I understand, the whole Warrior of Light prophecy was meant to find a replacement for Sid? To make a hero, someone to bring hope to the people.
Your understanding is mostly correct.
Did Sid create the prophecy?
It is based on his adventure. This much is true. But he did not make the prophecy. It was Palamecia itself that did that.
You're not serious.
I assure you I'm quite serious. It was Palamecia itself that called out for a hero to bring hope to its people. Before he knew it, Sid found himself entirely at the mercy of this world. It wanted him to fight, to bring that light of hope to others, time and time again.
So Sid abandoned his old name and gave up the fight. I could do the same myself.
That gave Sid his freedom, yes, but the same would not work now, I am afraid. Palamecia is starved of hope. Turn your back on it, and it will bend the prophecy, bend reality itself, to bring you back upon the path.
So there's no escape.
It is up to you to face and defeat chaos. I wish you good luck.
So Sid leaves the fighting to me, while he watches on with Sarah?
No, Sarah no longer inhabits this world.
She died?
She has left. She is no longer in Palamecia. My master sent her somewhere far, far away.
Why?
He could no longer fight. And without him, there was no one to bring hope to the people of Palamecia. To hold her here would have been to trap her in a world without hope. So he let her go. Many years, decades even, have passed since then. She still sends letters sometimes. It's always there.
Sid was a boy like any other. It was the trials he faced that led him to become the first Warrior of Light. His many battles with chaos were the spark that kindled hope in this world, or so it seems. And now, It's my turn. Do I follow in the old man's footsteps? Become a warrior of light and fight chaos one last time? I can't say. Sid defeated chaos before, but it never left this place. It falls and is reborn. What's the point in fighting? Will defeating chaos bring hope back to this world? Is that even enough? If chaos will simply rise again, well, then what's the point of hope?